2. Hello, welcome to Actual Play, Our Haunt, a creepy cozy game of ghosts in, well, their haunt. And this is the second episode. First one is when we did some of the character creation, but we're going to finish off character creation and get into the actual haunting tonight. I'm very excited. I'm playing Willow the cat. She may have been a person before. I think she was given a name by a woman who died just before she did. And some responsibility to deal with that woman's issues as well as her own. And they maybe get mixed up because she has her name. So we'll find out who Willow is and all about that in play. I'm excited. How about you, Johnny?
Hello, I wasn't here last week, but I am now. My name is Andrani. My pronouns are she, they. I will be playing Anoki, the Faceless. I died so long ago that I barely have whispers of memory floating around my invisible brain about who I used to be. I'm excited to learn more about myself and the other ghosts creeping around this house with me. That's me. Hi, happy to be here.
Happy to have you. How about you, Kristen?
Hi, everyone. I'm Kristen, she, her pronouns. I am playing Valentina, our haunt's doll. Also she, her pronouns. And Valentina got her name, I think, a little differently than Willow. She took it from someone undeserving. Not sure how exactly that happened. Maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't. But Valentina is not a porcelain doll. She's like a rag doll with very long purple yarn hair. And yes, I'm also very excited. I've not played our haunt before, so thrilled to be here. How about you, Jay?
Hi, I'm Jay. I don't use those. This house hasn't had pronouns for a long time. And I'm playing Twice, who's the betrayed. She is wearing a very unfortunately season inappropriate and very silly Halloween costume, that of one of the things from Dr. Seuss, Thing 2, written on her chest. She's kind of styled into a punk outfit, like to the best of her ability, like crop top, ripped sleeves, but like she can't hide that it's this disheveled Thing 2 costume. And her face is kind of sunken into more skull-like, and her hair is bright blue. She lives up in the attic, and she hates everyone except for Valentina. And a little bit of Emiliano, but she doesn't like Emiliano either.
And you were pretty harsh to Emiliano last time when you were doing your bonds.
And I stand by it. I stand by it. I mean, I like Emiliano, but I wouldn't say that to Emiliano's face. Of course, I wouldn't tell anyone I like them to their face. All right, that's
gotcha.
If I tell them that I like them, they might start getting ideas, and I don't want people to start thinking that I'm nice or that I like anyone. I'm not about that life, death. I'm not about that death.
Actually, every time I play our haunt, I keep thinking, man, there's so many idioms that assume life is a thing, right?
And Ray, how about you? What are you up to?
Hi, my name is Ray. My pronouns are he, they. Yeah, and so I play the gay disaster Emiliano, the loved. Sean did not have the politeness to pretend that I don't always play a gay disaster every chance I get. But here we are. And Emiliano is someone who deeply, deeply believes in love and wants to teach those around them. I forgot to mention Emiliano's pronouns are he, they, and it. But Emiliano still has a lot to learn about love from other people in the haunt. So yeah, I'm really excited to get into it. Oh, okay. So hello, chat. This is technically... now I'm tripping over the word technically. We did character creation last time. And so this time we're finishing up character creation and then going into the actual story and stuff. So yeah. So this means like last time was episode 0 and this is episode 1. Is that how it works?
I mean, I technically called it episode 1, but it was session 0.
Okay, no, so this is episode 2. No, that's fine.
Numbering. It's Homestuck numbering. It's fine.
Yeah. We go 2.
Yeah. There we go. So we're going to play this session and another session, so it's like a limited series kind of thing. So but let's finish up It is in fact too much math. I agree in the chat. Anything? I remember when I was playing D&D a lot, I would just roll the dice and tell someone else. So I have to add this to this. Tell me what
this
this is.
This is spell slot math. It's our sessions use spell slot math to figure out what we're making, right? It's session
No.
it's session 1, episode 2, and I think that which means that episode 3 we get another episode. Another
Right.
session 1
Episode
spell
3, we
slot.
get a level 2 ups. We get a level 2.
Wow.
my brain. My very
This is why I
muscle
write
alive
business
brain.
games.
I was gonna say. But there you go. All right. So, but speaking of finishing up character creation, so we'll do that. And Johnny, tell us about a little more about your character, and then we'll finish up your character's bonds.
Okay, so I'm playing the Faceless, which I mentioned earlier, but physically there's not much to be noticed about me. The only way you know I've entered a room is if you see strange refractions of light, or if you see inky footsteps or hands that touch the wall. The only way to tell I'm present is through visual cues around you. My voice, it almost sounds like it's at the back of your head. Like it's like ASMR on low volume is what I'm thinking. Is how
Yeah.
they sound. I chose my name from a shard of a broken mirror, which I found in the room which I haunt, which is the lost room. Should I get into the room later, or is that okay? So that's I guess the basic stuff. I leave my bonds empty. I figured we'll do that now, but those are sort of the basics. My character Anoki is trying to cling on to existence. Like it feels as though they have lost almost everything about themselves and are currently navigating the grief of what is it to be dead and to exist, like to not exist at all, like because she sees these other ghosts around her who have forms, who are much more corporeal to her. So those are the themes I'll be trying to play with. But yeah, that's Anoki. And that's how you say your name, by the way. Anoki.
I love it.
Anoki?
Anoki, yeah.
Okay.
There's a k sound.
Got it.
But yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you
DLV
also
is here and has just said that character description is incredible. I agree. Lavender, thanks for joining us.
awesome. All right. So you get to choose 2 bonds. So these are like supporting characters, NPCs that are created. So the rest of us can like play them at some point, maybe if you want to interact with them. So what 2 bonds were you thinking of?
So the 3-legged cat that seeks my affection immediately stood out to me because I feel like that would be a great anchor for this character, to have somebody who wants her around, especially when there's Twice, who apparently hates everybody. So
Yeah.
you know.
I don't know if I hate you yet. I just here's what I do
Okay.
know is that Valentina and I, we think we've been here the longest, along with the ghost in the basement we don't like to talk about. But have you been here even longer than us?
Well, I've been dead much longer than I assume almost all of you.
Sure.
So if I've only ever haunted the lost room, then yes, but the room was lost. Maybe it wasn't discovered.
Well, I mean,
until-
maybe we didn't even realize you were a ghost at first. We thought you were just light on the walls, and then it was like, hey, wait a second, there's another ghost here.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that. So maybe, you're dealing with the idea that, oh, there was someone here before us, and I'm like happy to be noticed finally.
Yeah,
Love that.
absolutely.
So that's bond number 1. The second bond that I was thinking of was the book that writes it, like a mysterious person that writes it, like speaks through me through a book that writes itself. And that would be something that I would find in the room that I haunt, because it's got a collection of just objects lost to time with just like remnants of memories in them. So those are my two.
Are there times when if people can't find you because you're not wanting to be found, that instead they can sort of find out what you've been up to most recently or what's going on with you in the book? Like, is that the way to know, like,
Yeah.
what's up?
Yeah. I think that's great. It's she almost journals while talking to this person in the book. So today I got up to da, da, da. What did you do? And that's sort of how our conversations go. But chat is having audio issues. Is that me?
No, you sound good to us.
I
Yeah.
think they're saying that there's some static in the background.
Chat is having audio issues. Oh.
Yes. Yeah, chat. Yeah, chat and Twitch is.
Okay, it's not constant, but a little stuttery.
It's crunchy, is what they're saying, I think.
All right. Well, let me go check it out and see what I can tell. This is going to be one of those.
Immersion.
Sorry, I just wanted to. Yeah, it's immersion because ghosts are weird and crunchy.
Yep.
There you go.
Okay, that's good. I'm not sure what it is. I just wanted to make sure that we knew about it in case it was. Ghosts are a little crinkly, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes we
And I did mention
stutter.
ASMR, so
Yeah.
You
Yes,
did.
exactly.
Yeah.
This is reverse AS.
What is a haunting if not reverse ASMR? Am I right?
What is a ghost? What is a ghost if not a really inaccurate massage therapist?
oh god.
Inaccurate of all things. I love it. I love it.
Wow.
Okay, so Indrani, to finish off, Anoki. So I'm gonna get the K sound right. I'm gonna keep working on it.
You're doing great. Don't worry
Okay.
about it.
Okay. So your relationship question is you get to choose any one of us, right? Do you want us to like introduce our characters really briefly again, or do you feel like, right, like what you know?
No. Go for it. Maybe for my sake and the folks who are new in chat as well.
Yeah. Okay, we could go in character keeper order, and I think we can briefly say like how we would feel about your character, maybe just to make it a little interesting. And because I threw that out at the second and people might have a hard time coming in on the spot, we will go in reverse character keeper order. I will go first.
Wow.
So I think Emiliano is
I'm devastated at your lack of.
well, no, that's true. You're so ridiculously creative, Jay. What am I thinking? But
Go for it.
But yeah, so basically Emiliana hasn't been dead for too long, actually. Yeah, I mean the song that is stuck in Emiliana's head, I forgot to mention this, is Unchained Melody, right? So
Very
I'm gonna say
important.
Emiliano died, and this is like from the movie Ghost, not necessarily like when that song first came out, right? So like Emiliano has been dead since like, when did that movie come out? The 90s, right? I want to say the 90s. Am I going to find out it's the 80s and get depressed?
It's got to be the 90s.
I think
Okay.
1990. So just
Okay.
right.
Just in time.
Call it
Just in-
the 90s,
Yeah.
friends.
The 90s.
The 90s.
Please,
Nice
it's a late
adjacent.
20th century movie.
Oh, there you go. Oh my gosh. People were calling like 2000 fashion like vintage, and I was getting so unreasonably upset about it. But
I'm the kid in the chat. I can't say anything about it. Carry on. It's Y2K. It's retro at least.
oh, I don't want to hear this from you.
Oh,
No.
Wait.
Oh, I just meant this
Jay.
as a joke. It's not. I'm not discarding it. You can keep talking about it if you want. Just want to be clear.
I don't. I just wanted to make you all feel withered and haggardly for a second.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you.
Playing
for
my
making us
role
feel
as
old.
the
22.
Zoomer.
What is this?
Oh, you're Jesus Christ! You're way younger than me. Okay, never mind. Sorry, you're the.
Oh, we have a new kid in the chat. which we will not refer to you as if you don't like it.
I don't mind it.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I agree with Jay for what it's worth.
But there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think in terms of how Emiliano feels about Anoki, I think like Emiliano is like Anoki is like great company, right? And I think poor Emiliano is a little bit of a himbo. Sometimes they keep talking, not knowing Anoki is not there anymore.
I love it.
And then like, oh, you're such a good listener, Anoki. And like, there's no one there. And the friend in the journal is trying to say, Anoki left about 2 hours ago. But anyway, so that's Emiliano.
I love that. And for what it's worth, like I think Anoki is the kind of person who would listen, who would stay the entire 2 hours that you're talking and just nod, and you'd just see like the light reflect differently when she nods, like yeah. So she's around, she's listening.
Oh, that's so sweet. You're too good to Emiliano. He doesn't deserve you. Emiliano just does the Carly Rae Jepsen thing of talking about the same boy over and over again. But yeah, so
Who turns out to be straight in this example.
oh my god, I'm being attacked. Anyway, so how about you, Valentina?
All right. Okay, yes. So Valentina, she's the doll, as I mentioned earlier, and she has been around again, possibly the longest. Well, thought right before we discovered Anoki, and Twice and Valentina used to kind of get up to no good. So our shameful secret, the relationship that Valentina and Twice have, is that we used to haunt this place and before the others arrived, and we kind of went too far, and a witch had to come in. We decided on a witch, right, Jay?
Yeah,
Everyone?
I
Okay.
think so.
A witch had to come in and give us like a stern talking to. And now we've calmed down. We've calmed down our ways, our rebellious teenage ways.
I feel like we saw what she did to our other friend, the third.
That's
the one in the
ghost who wouldn't
basement.
get it together.
Yes.
Who's in the basement?
Yeah.
I feel
So-
like I feel. Yeah.
Agreed. Yes. Valentina, her room is the basement, and she shares it with a ghost that is chained, and whispers and plays with toys and isn't doing well. And that was our third friend we used to haunt with. So we listened to the witch. They did not apparently listen to the witch. I think Valentina would be really like intrigued by Anoki. I think that like the light and the delicacy, or appeared what she interprets as delicacy, she would be very intrigued by. And Valentina might be a little mischievous, but I don't think she's really unkind yet. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yet. Oh my gosh, I was so
Yeah.
threatening. I was like,
because I was gonna say she's not unkind, and then I keep remembering that I took this name from someone, and I was like, maybe I'm making her to be, more innocent than she really is.
She doesn't think
I'm a birthday boy. It's my birthday, and I'm a birthday boy. Let me get in my face. I'm just a little birthday boy.
That's
Yeah.
Valentina.
Perfect.
Nice.
Awesome. And then how about Willow?
Willow, I think Willow moves around the house a lot. She is a predator. She is looking for ghost mice. She's looking for ghost trouble. But part of why she moves around the house a lot is because she really wants others to notice her and want her attention. She wants to be very visible so that others like see her and like want to pet her, and then she can choose whether or not she wants to let them.
Right.
So I think she is like very much tries to be like in Anoki's space, to be like, I don't want your attention. I definitely am not trying to get you to pay attention to me. I'm ignoring you. I don't even know that you're here. I can't see you. So I definitely don't even care. at all, for sure,
I love
100%.
that.
I'm not
Do
at
you
all
think-
trying to get your attention.
Do you think she would have some contentious relationships with the other three, like the three?
Oh yeah,
cat
we
that
100%
follows him
fight all the
around?
time. This is
Oh.
my ghost house, and like you are. No, there's a lot of cats actually in this. There's a lot of ghost cats in this house because Emiliano has some ghost cats, I believe, as well. So
I love it.
like this is definitely. I'm certainly not the only cat, and that's a problem. And so yeah, there have definitely been spats. Not because I'm jealous of attention, just because I'm the cat in the house. There's only one cat playbook, so there should only be one cat. But
Like, do you have a playbook? I didn't think so.
I don't think so. Exactly. You have various bonds? No. And yeah, and I think Willow has a blue and a green Was it blue and green or blue and brown? I think it's blue and brown. Has one blue and one brown eye, and she very much likes to believe that with her eyes she can perceive things. So I think there has been at least one or two times where Emiliano might have been tricked into thinking that Willow could see Anoki because she was just like staring very intently into something. Because cats can see all kinds of stuff, especially ghost cats. Definitely see it with our sight. We could definitely see things for sure. So
Amazing.
yeah, that's me. How about Jay? How's Twice feel?
So Twice is very much she's got a lot of like no boys allowed kind of energy to her. Not that Anoki is a boy, but rather just that she's very like if you like she puts pages from Bibles that she rips up and scatters across the stairs leading up to the attic, not because it keeps people away. Like it just feels like the sort of thing that would keep other ghosts away. So I think that she's extremely temperamental, but also she could really use someone who like cares about her, but also the thought of anyone cares about her makes her like very violent. She's a mess. She's a hot mess. And I think that if you've got the like I'm gonna fix her energy, then like she's here. But if you can't fix her, or you're just gonna be a fly on the wall, she's just gonna get a big old complex about you and be very resentful and furious that you dare to leave her so miserable as to wishing that she was loved.
That's a lot of pressure. I love it.
That's her vibe.
The faceless character. One of the things that I I seek out people who don't understand themselves, and I try to show them the truth, and I can very much interpret that as like fix them energy. So I think she would try to be like, no, let's talk about it, and like very much always listening and always supportive, even if it like takes like an internal toll. She will be like, no, I must, because then what if not this, then what is my purpose? Very much that sort of person. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Cool. So now that we've had this like reconnection moment, which of the relationship questions do you want to ask to which ghost and Johnny?
Okay. I'll go backwards. So Twice. Why do you shield your thoughts from me?
I shield my thoughts from you because I also shield them from myself. I think that you will often find me like when I try to talk to you about my feelings, it will feel like I am talking myself in circles and in circles and in circles as I'm trying to find some like because there are truths that I don't want to come to the conclusion of. And so basically rather than coming to that conclusion, I talk myself in circles and around like the possibility of what could be true and what I won't let be true, what I can't imagine being true. And so I think I shield it from you, not because I don't want you to know, but because in order to know, it requires this kind of comprehension, which I do not allow myself. Like I hide it from you because I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Mhm.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry. I don't know if I made it clear, Johnny. You only have to choose like one question and one
One
ghost,
for
basically.
everybody.
Oh no, just one
Okay.
person.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're okay with that, right? But if you want to,
No. 100%.
awesome. Okay. So, with that, let's also talk about the Lost Room. How long has it been lost for? Right? Like, did you? So we know that you've been like. It's so weird to say. We know that you've been dead longer than us. Right. But did the Lost Room just reappear recently in this house, or has it always been there?
I think it's always been there. And I feel like Willow might have been the one who rediscovered it.
Mm.
Because Willow likes moving around, right? Finding new
Yeah,
places,
yeah, she
taking up
definitely
space.
does. Yeah, she likes
And
to explore.
so would you say that she would one day have stumbled into this sort of like hall full of like cracked mirrors and just a random collection of items that seemingly have no like link between them, just piled up around the room?
I'm getting a like an extremely like teenage exploration vibe of like that time where like you find this like path in the woods that you never noticed before, and like it's not there the next time you go by. It's like it's down a hallway, but you can't remember which way it was. Like it's not, you go to show somebody and it's not there, and you have to find it all over again. So yes, I'm definitely
Yeah.
down for that. Like Willow found it one time, but she doesn't necessarily know how to get back there again. Or it's like you always have to sort of search for a while to find it. If you like that, if that sounds
Yeah.
cool to you.
Yes, and maybe it's the kind of room that like yeah, it's never in the same place. You always have to look, and it only shows itself a few really well, I obviously am drawing certain parallels here, but like it shows itself if you only like truly want to go looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you
Mhm.
coming in is what alerted me to the presence of others here. Maybe I was there the whole time, just like, yeah, it's just me.
Just
Bunch
me. I'm
of
all alone.
books. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Did you
now I'm
follow
like
me back
compensate.
out? Did
I would say that.
yeah.
But I wouldn't have like spoken up. I would have just been like, okay, what else is happening here for a
So
minute?
did I like come in and be like, this is cool, whatever, and leave? Or did I get scared and run like hell and like break something on my way out? Like, did I knock something ghostly over? I think I freaked out, but I leave it to you to like I'm cool either way.
I think you might have freaked out because it's not a very inviting room. It has a desolate feeling to it,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. I'm not at all a scaredy cat. I'm not afraid of
Yeah,
things like that at all.
of course.
Oh, Willow.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah. So I think there was a rear and a crash and a bang, and Willow came like charging out, and then acted like nothing happened. Like, I don't, what are you all talking about? Nothing happened. But yeah, imagine that's how you found us. Love it.
That works for me. As for the room itself, it has two unsolvable problems. Do I tell you what those are now?
Yeah.
Okay. When maybe the thing that scared you was that there was an ornate mirror. Like there's so many mirrors, but there's one that stood out that when you looked at it, it almost felt like it reflected what you were thinking and feeling back at you. Like it was like very visible, and it forces you to be like vulnerable in a way that you wouldn't necessarily consent to, and that might be scary. And because you feel scared, the other unsolvable problem is that objects and the walls and the entire room, it rearranges itself in response to your emotions. So if you came in, you saw something you didn't want to see, got scared, the whole room starts like shuffling around, and that I would assume that's like pretty freaky for anybody. So
Yeah.
but yeah, that's the lost room.
Yeah, I love it.
Perfect.
I love it. I love it.
Nice,
Judd
nice.
threw out the idea that as a cat, Willow might never realize a mirror was a thing before. So yeah, I have a feeling that whatever she saw in the mirror freaked her out enough that she like batted at it and then like hit the mirror and was very confused. And that's when she was like, "Peace out, never mind. I'm going away. I'm running away. I'm scared."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have the other ghosts been in the room since then?
I think Emiliano has been. Why is he such a ditz? I think like he goes around like opening doors once in a while, going, Anoki, Anoki, I got a new message from him. I need your help to help me like decipher it, like that kind of friend, right? And then Emiliana will go through every single door 3 times throughout the entire haunt until I think sometimes he even opens it to the lost room and still closes it because he's that much of a himbo sometimes, and then comes back and realizes his
Love it.
mistake. So yeah.
I think that Twice has not been in the lost room, and that she says it's because like, you know, who gives a shit about this little room, you know, like, why does it matter? Like, my attic is, I don't need to go in some useless bit. It's because she's scared. It's because she's extremely scared of it and what she's heard about the mirror, and it would do terrible things to her brain. So she like plays it off like she's just too cool for it.
Perfect. What about Valentine?
I think Valentina has stood in the doorway of the room, but has not gone inside.
How did the room shift when you were in the doorway? What were you feeling?
Yeah, I think that the room did shift, which made her feel almost like a little bit off balance. Like I imagine her trying to balance on one little raggedy doll leg. And so because she didn't feel like she had control, then she didn't go in.
Love it.
Very cool,
Sandy?
very cool.
Love it.
Yeah, perfect. All right. So I will briefly go over the basic rules right before we like jump into play, because for some of us this is our first time playing a belonging outside belonging game, which is also known as no dice no masters. I cheated a little bit. We're sometimes masters here, one at a time. I'll explain that. What is Ray? Ray does not like push and pull at the rules a little bit. So basically, every playbook, every character, you have your strong, neutral, and vulnerable moves, right? So instead of using dice and leaving things up to chance, instead what happens is you can use a vulnerable move in order to gain a token, right? And every time you want to do a strong move from your playbook, you need to spend 2 tokens in order to do it. But you also have access to neutral moves, which you can do at any time. There doesn't need to be a tokens no move basically during your neutral moves. And there's also a little extra thing called your ghostly abilities. So because we're ghosties, we get to do ghosty things. So for example, as the beloved, I get to, let's see, my ghostly abilities: make myself irresistible, draw the dark and twisted to my beauty, heal the brokenhearted and soul shattered, or be what another character needs most in this moment, right? So everyone has their own ghostly abilities. And along with the moves, you're really encouraged to interpret these any way you like. You can bend and shift them in the fiction to support what's going on, right? It is what I like about Belonging Inside Belonging as a game is that it's very easy to pick up, but it does reward mastery the better you get at like being spontaneous in your moves and applying them in the moment as you like. So it's really fun. And you'll notice that you can use your ghostly abilities as a vulnerable move or a strong move, right? So if you use your ghostly ability as a vulnerable move, you use it with great consequence, right? So you can tell us what the great consequence is, or you can ask one of us to come up with what that great consequence can be. And if you use it as a strong move, you get to use it, you get to do it without a hitch, right? You get to do your ghostly ability and nothing terrible happens, right? So you'll notice also that each playbook offers a question under the strong move and the vulnerable move. You can like ask someone else, like one of us. You can ask us as a group, or you can ask a specific player to answer the question for you. So, for example, Willow the cat has a strong ask move of, why do you want to follow my commands? So, is it obvious that I have 3 cats and I am a cat parent when I wrote that move?
I hope I can. I hope I can live up to.
For sure. No, no worries, no worries. And then the vulnerable question that Willow has is, can you actually, everyone has this, I forgot to mention. Everyone has the vulnerable ask question of, can you tell me about one of your memories? Right. And this can be based on one of the memories you chose, or you can make up a new fragment if you like. So the more we ask each other about our memories, and that is also when we get to earn a token. I think one last way that we can earn tokens within the playbook, at least, is through our lures. So lures are meant to be easy to activate, is the word I'm looking for. That is correct. I was like, reel people in. Am I thinking too much of this fishing, like metaphor? So Valentina's lure as the doll is when someone asks Valentina to sing a song or tells Valentina a white lie, they earn a token. So basically, it's a reward for you playing into the themes of the playbook, right? So everyone has their own little lore, right? So there are lots of options for you to earn tokens through the playbooks. What questions do we have so far about moves and tokens and like?
I have a question.
Mhm.
The lure, does it have to also be like ghostly moves be used as a part of your strong, neutral, vulnerable moves, or is there
Oh
something
no,
in
it's
those
just its
like?
own thing. Yeah, its own
Okay,
mechanic. Right,
okay,
right.
cool, cool, cool.
Mhm.
Awesome.
But yeah. So for example, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
I was just gonna say, for example, if I go up to you, like I say in character, oh yes, Emiliano goes up to Valentina and says, I really love that. What's it called? That song, something melody. And if I ask Valentina to sing it for me, also, by the way, Valentina can decide, no, I'm not going to sing that song. And then, like, I won't get the token. That's totally fine. But if Valentina does, in fact, sing the song, that I get to. Um, Oh, well, actually, no, now that I think about it, I just have to ask. And then so whether or not Valentina decides to do it, I still
Mhm.
get the token. But yeah.
You made the
So
game. It's your rules.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No. I just remembered. I was like, no, that's right. The trigger is in the ask, right? So I made sure about that for each of the lures.
I feel
Yeah.
like the lure, if we were playing a LARP, would be like
Mm.
the thing where we'd wear on our chest, like ask me about my, whatever, like ask me to play a song, tell me I'm cute, ask me to sing a song, tell me I'm cute, right? Exactly. So that people would know, like, oh, I could just do that thing and I
Hmm.
will get a
I
token. But
completely
also,
forgot
like,
how different LARPs are, but yes, absolutely.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah. So there's also a
Mhm.
little thing about the rooms, but I feel like it'd be best if I just show that in action. So the way that the rooms work is basically at the start of every scene, we decide, where do we want to hang out? Are we going which room are we going to hang out in? And whichever room we decide, the room that whoever owns that room, they're basically the guide in the scene, right? They're the mini GM during that
Mhm.
scene. So if it takes place in the garden, for example, I'll be guiding the scene. Whether or not you want your character to show up, right? Because some people have a hard time balancing both their character and the room at the same time. But it's all very laid back. There's no right or wrong way to play a BOB game, basically. Like, it's all guidelines. So yeah, but I am happy to start us off with the garden first, right? Since that is my place in the haunt, so that I can show how a room works, right? If people are cool with that, unless we really want to go into another room that if we're dying to invade Twice's attic or something.
I think the garden is a lovely way to start because it's like we as the audience are viewing the house from like the first place you might see it, right? Like it's like I can
Mm.
imagine the camera coming in and like the garden is
Yeah.
the first thing we see before we actually enter the interior of the house. So I love that idea.
Mhm, mhm. Awesome, awesome.
I
So
dig
yeah,
it.
so perfect. So our haunt comes with some guiding questions. But for the sake of the stream and because it's our first time, I will very strongly suggest that we start in the garden and everyone starts with their main character so we get to feel out what our characters are like before we bring in supporting characters. But I will play any supporting characters as the guide of the scene. Yeah, but so we're all in the garden, right? We're all hanging out. Maybe some of us willingly or no. What are we doing in the garden though? What do we think this scene is about? Like, I will always say spooky tea party, but
Oh,
you know, that is my
yeah.
thing.
I mean, that sounds like a great opening.
Yeah, I'm sure I had a past life as a British person because I'm obsessed with the concept of tea, and it makes no sense here in the Philippines. It's too hot for tea.
Twice doesn't want to be here, but someone has dragged her along, and I think that might be Valentina. I'm trying to think of who else here would.
It's a tea party. Of course I dragged you along. I'm a doll at a tea party.
Yeah, right.
It's true.
It's childish, it's immature. I shouldn't be debasing myself like this for this silly entertainment. I just think it's goofy. I just think it's goofy. I've got more important things to be doing.
Like what?
Fuming, blustering, raging.
Can you bluster during the tea? Maybe we'll have like tea sandwiches this time. Cookies.
I think
You know,
this is.
No, go for it, Sean.
I was just say Willow interrupts by saying "spider" and attacking your head, Valentina.
And the cat's here.
She like leaps from somewhere and it's like spider and like attacks where she thinks she sees a spider in your hair and then like gets her claws stuck in your Raggedy Ann hair.
Yeah.
And like just looks helplessly at you twice, like I can't help this. Like now I am stuck and it's impossible for me to do anything.
I love Willow so much.
Let me just look at my vulnerable moves and refresh myself really quick.
Oh yeah, sure. Let me properly introduce the scene though.
Yeah,
no worries.
I'm going to, I want to lose control of my body. I am now just like stuck. Oh wait, that's the doll. I'm looking at the wrong move. Okay. Oh no.
No worries.
That's fine. I'm showing my open desire for affection. I'm like, I just totally did this. There was no spider. I just want to be pet and have people pay attention to me. So I'm like, I look at you twice like, you have to fix this problem. There is no way there's no way this problem can be fixed on.
Twice looks at you, and if looks could burn, you would be a pile of dust by now. And the only thing keeping Twice from being Twice is messy. Twice is very messy. To be very clear, you're not going to get affection from her. Instead, she gingerly, as if she's handling a lab specimen or like a dead rat she found in the living room, she like picks you up by your scruff, like awkwardly, because she's kind of she's a ghost and you're a ghost.
And like my arm is like still attached to Valentina's head. Like the claws are stuck. Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm going to I am going to do my best, kind of dispassionately and uncomfortably, try and just. I think Anoki, this is what you see as you arrive in the garden. I think perhaps this kind of moment of me like separating this out.
The way you realize that Anoki's even here is there's these wind chimes that are on the porch, and Anoki just laughs, and you hear the laugh, and most of it is just the wind chimes just out of nowhere start you can start hearing it and you glance back and then there's just this sort of shift in the way the light hits the porch. The shadows are not where they're supposed to be, and Anoki just like is very amused watching from a distance. And I would say this is probably her first time outside the lost room. So she's just like standing there taking it all in, very amused,
I
but
think
also like scared.
Twice looks over at the shadows of where I think that where the moonlight from the trees fall against the wall of the house, creating these shadows that kind of reveal themselves to look like you. And I think Twice realizes that you're here and lets go of Willow shamefully, as if she's been caught playing the game that she thought she was too cool to do. And she's
Right.
like, "Are you the one who called us together? Are you the one throwing this stupid tea party?" She's wearing Twice is wearing a bonnet despite herself. She tried to make herself look nice for the tea party, even though she thinks it's ridiculous.
Amazing. Um, you hear Anoki respond, and it's a very soft voice, and it's like a little hard to hear. You're like, wait, what? But she says, "No, this is the first time I've been outside. It's very pretty, but what is? I just followed the sounds, the noise. Is this a party? What's going
I
on?"
I don't think it's a party. As far as I'm aware, it's just me, Raggedy Ann, a goddamn 9 lives over here, and a shadow on the wall, and I'm wearing a stupid bonnet, and I don't even know why I've been called here. I don't like leaving my attic unless it's on very important business. So whichever one of you organized this ridiculous Ray, take over.
I was about to interrupt.
Party.
And at this point I say, "Happy birthday, Gray!" And I like burst through the door, and I have the Greyhound in my arms, and
Oh my
like
God.
they have a party hat on, and I'm like, "I've made Gray's favorite tea sandwiches, everybody. You all like dog food, don't you?" And then I like
This is
bring the dog.
This is why Twice doesn't like you. This is why Twice doesn't like you. It's really like this is why Twice doesn't like you at all.
I love how many times you said that.
I need a clip of just Jay saying that.
Twice slumps back into the tea party chair and falls through it, and then has to like pull herself up and kind of like crouch over it so it looks like she's sitting in it. And she's just so mad. She's just so mad at you. You're throwing. So, you summoned me down from the attic. You performed the rites of binding that pulled Anoki out of the lost room. You gathered us all here. You made me put on a stupid hat and a stupid little dress, and you poured a stupid little tea set, and you got the cat here somehow. Did you invite the cat, or did Willow just show up?
Willow's still like, I don't think you ever succeeded in like getting her disentangled. So she's still like
also
looking at
not sure
Valentina,
let
and she's
go.
like looking very annoyed that this party is for the dog. Like,
Oh, yeah.
what? Why is there party not what? And yeah, and she's kind of looking at you like, I'm with Twice now, and like wants to go over with Twice but can't because she can't get away from
The hair.
Valentina. So she's just like,
Yeah. And Twice is like, this whole thing is a birthday party for your Greyhound. We are the undead. We have maybe more important things to be doing than goofing around with dogs. Did you ever consider that, Emiliano?
Well, I did consider how much of a big old grump you are, so I made special sandwiches just for you. And I take out these like
Not
ridiculously
a
black
grump.
dyed sandwiches.
I think my feelings are pretty reasonable considering the circumstances. And as I say that, my hair stands up and like the shadows grow darker and like the like blades of blackened hate kind of leak up from normal things.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, you were all used to it, but like definitely like we're kind of like I think my emotions are reasonable.
I rest one hand on. At this point, while all this is happening, Anoki, he's made his way towards Twice, and you feel this gentle, I don't know, like touch on your shoulder, and it's like warm. It's like sunlight on a comfortable day. and you just hear Anoki whisper, "For what it's worth, I think the bonnet looks very nice on you."
I
And
think,
I'm gonna use my vulnerable move if that works, which
yes.
is reach out and whisper a kind truth.
Aw, perfect.
I
I
think
love that.
twice freezes up briefly, genuinely emotionally struck by your kindness before doubling down. And I think that just to kind of get the pot stirring a little bit, just to kind of get a little bit of drama in the chat. I think Twice stands her silent. You can tell that she feels it, and then almost like she's fighting off the feeling of genuineness. The bonnet. I'm gonna use my neutral move, which is scratch my nails on a surface, leaving blood behind, and I pull my hat off of my head, and it dissolves into blood, and then I drop it down, and the teacups fill up with blood, and then the patio blood wells in the crevices, and I am gonna I think use my vulnerable move to um no, I think this is my neutral move, which is just to fill the room with shadows and soft sounds.
Oh,
And I'm
can I
just like
offer you?
full. Yes. No, go for it.
Yeah, I was going to offer you a garden move, which is I want to ask you to reveal something hungry and hidden that comes for the blood.
Ooh, I think let me finish. I think Twice's feeling, and then let's find out what comes for the blood. But I think Twice is like, I can't take it here. I'm moving. And says I'm moving very very dramatically and intensely, and then the darkness wells up, and I don't what comes out of the garden to I think that we see birds the birds that are not appropriate for nighttime, right? We're lit by moonlight right now, and these black birds that crows, ravens, and then you know how crows, you know how ravens look like really big messed up crows? This is what if you did it again? With the next step beyond crow, raven, Pokemon evolution
Whoops.
style,
thing.
whatever the next thing is.
Yeah.
These bigger, blacker, more horrible birds. And I think those have flocked in to at the display, and they're smelling the blood, and there's maybe other feral animals who've scented the quick kill, but Twice is like, I'm sick of it, and I'm moving.
No.
Where are we moving?
We no.
What?
Uh,
What do you mean no? Where are
what
we
do you
moving?
mean no?
I just got the basement the way I like it.
Who said anything
There's a
about we?
basement?
There's a basement. Yeah, it took me a few decades to get it.
No,
way
I
I
don't.
like.
I don't give you permission twice. I don't allow it. I am overstepping my bounds.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. And I just and I'm still stuck in fucking Valentina's hair. This has not changed, and yet somehow I go from this something changes with Willow where she goes from this pathetic bedraggled creature to this no, I'm just gonna assert my authority right now, and I'm just saying you don't get to leave. I didn't give you permission.
On whose authority? What makes you? You're not. I can go whenever I want. I just need some grave dirt. There's been enough car accidents along the road that it's I can walk along the road. I'll find another house. There's other places where people have died. I'll be fine.
You're just mad, and you should have some tea cakes.
I don't want any. I think I'm gonna fully vulnerable move using a ghostly ability with great consequence, and I scream, I don't want any goddamn tea cakes. And with that, all the cups and the tea and the whole little setup that Emiliano put a whole hour, multiple hours, frankly, because you had to use telepathy, you had to use poltergeist stuff to put it in place. I lift it all up, and I just make it all fly up into the air. And as it comes crashing down, I think you see Twice storming up to her attic, absolutely furious. And I will take that. I'm gonna take a token there.
Yeah. Oh, and also take another token from accepting the garden move earlier.
Oh, that's true. I did accept that.
Yeah, you did. You did. Yeah, and I think as you storm off, there's a moment where the Greyhound, who I forgot to mention is actually the witch's familiar, and the
Oh, interesting. Okay, all right.
Oh.
Okay, I did that all in front of the witch's familiar.
exactly I forgot to
the witch
remind
knows
you.
about it, too.
Yes, and I think we see the Greyhound's eyes sharpen, like watching. Like there's this surreal moment where we can see like twice within the eyes of the Greyhound. I think that's the consequence that occurs. If that's okay with you, Twice, what do you think?
Yes. I think that's a
Perfect.
great consequence. I think the witch knowing about it is a really good consequence for my behavior.
Mhm.
I think Twice deserves many consequences for this temper tantrum.
Yeah,
And
to whatever degree Willow like is aware of this, she's like nodding very approvingly. Like, yes, that's what you get. That's very good.
Yeah.
I'm still attached, right? I'm just
Yeah, she's
just
still. Kristen,
And,
you tell me anytime you don't want me to be attached to you anymore.
Oh yeah, no,
But,
yeah, we're good.
yeah, and I think Emiliana just sort of like very like puts on. I'm gonna use a neutral move, which is smile to hide the pain, and I just like smile at everyone and say, "Well, that's okay. I'm sure that Twice will come back when she's ready." And you can hear like Emiliana's voice crack a little bit towards the end, and but I did get more than dog food sandwiches. That was just a little joke on my part. I got some for everybody, and I'm gonna put someone else's needs ahead of my own, and like make sure like I put together all the broken plates and pieces. I use some of the cups to put in like the tea cakes and hand them to everybody.
Can I
Who's
help
running?
Emiliano with this? I'm just like, again, it's very strange because it's just like whenever I lift something or whenever I hold something, it just looks like it's floating in thin air. And I'm like, just passing you little bits, and I say, eh, eh, for a birthday, is it? I'm sorry, things went wrong, but we can still salvage this. All right, it'll be fun.
No, this is great. This is absolutely fantastic. It couldn't be any better. And like Emiliana is just like smiling, um, and says, "But thank you so much, Inoki. You are so sweet." And ooh, I think I want to try using one of your lures. And so I want to ask you to see past Emiliana's like facade, right?
Yeah.
So I'm asking you to see my true face. What is it that I really look like?
I think you look brave and kind, but hurt is what I'm taking away from it. I think obviously Twice's actions were less than savory, and it obviously impacted you, but you're trying to, be nice for everybody else around here. And I see that, and I say, it's okay to feel upset if you'd like. I know it's an uncomfortable feeling.
No, I mean, Twice was right. I shouldn't have dragged her, and this party wasn't cool enough for her. And and then Emiliana just like bursts into these huge tears, like just streaming down their face. And it's totally fine. Everything is. And then like Emiliana picks up both Valentina and Willow, and then holds them close, like crying into the yarn of the hairs on one side, tears from Emiliano on the other side, the cat claws.
But you still don't untangle us. Like we're still.
This is Emiliano. Let's not push it.
I don't know what I was thinking.
While this is happening, I notice the entangled claws, and you just again feel this very gentle warmth as there's like someone, pulling the yarn away from the claws and making sure
Mhm.
that when Emiliano is done cuddling up and let's go, you're two separate entities again.
Thank
Aw.
you. I definitely
Uh,
think that Valentina is also crying, but Valentina is crying because Twice is going to move without her to a new house. So Valentina's very upset about that. So there's two crying ghosts.
um, look, I don't know how to. I'm gonna use my vulnerable move and admit to a shame, which is that I. It's been a long time since someone's cried before me. Do I what do I do? How do I help? You see that I'm very lost. I don't know how to really console people in this moment, even though I feel like I must. I just don't know what to do. Would that count? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. That does in fact count. I think I'm going to use a ghostly ability with great consequence, right? I always love saying that and people going like, uh-huh. That's my favorite part of
And what is the consequence?
it.
And what's pray
I love the way
tell?
it's phrased.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to one of my ghostly abilities is to heal the brokenhearted and soul shattered, right? And so I reach out to Valentina. I very gently hold you close, and then I lean down and kiss your forehead. Uh, and I say, "You and Twice are such dear, dear friends. The two of you." I think Emiliana slips a little bit and says, "The three of you have been through so much together. There
Mm-hmm.
isn't much that can pull you apart at this point." But Valentina, what is it that Emiliana says to heal your broken heart?
Ooh. I actually think it is the slip of saying that the three of us have been through so much. Because I think that most of Valentina's memories of that ghost, who we probably should name at some point, but of that ghost, are the three of us being together happy. And she prefers to live in that memory. She doesn't really want to look at what the reality is or kind of how the ghost has changed. And so I think that you saying the three of us makes her think of when the three of us used to be together, raising hell and haunting the house. And she's able to kind of like live in that reality instead of this reality.
Yeah, and I think actually going back to like I think the reason why we haven't named that third ghost is because her name was taken by the witch, and we're not allowed
Wait,
to speak
wait,
her ghost
wait, wait,
name
wait,
anymore.
wait. Valentina,
Yes.
where did you get your name?
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
That was a bad ghost. That was a
Oh.
bad ghost.
It was an
That ghost.
undeserving
When a
ghost.
ghost is bad enough, loses their name.
I like that. Okay.
no. Do the
Yeah.
rest of us know this? I mean, does Twice know how it actually went down, or is this a secret you keep to yourself?
I feel like Twice would has to know.
I would know, but I don't know if the either of you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
it seems like Twice to know because you were friends, before.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
were all friends before.
Yeah. I'm not sure anyone else
Mhm.
knows. I'm not sure that we've talked about it.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think Emiliano bringing it up, the three of you, is really a side of the ghostly ability at work because Emiliano doesn't actually know, right?
Yeah.
About,
Mhm. Oh,
about the three of you,
true.
right? And
Mhm.
I think the consequence of this is, as Emiliano says this and like feels his own heart healing from like just being close to Valentina, the consequence is that that greyhound that was so cute sniffing around in the teacups a moment ago suddenly like looks up, like when a dog or an animal hears
Mhm.
something no one else does, and the greyhound opens its jaw, but its mouth doesn't move, and a voice comes out that says, "Valentina." But we know that the dog is not referring to you and is referring to someone else.
That's so Ray.
I love that. That is so dramatic.
Kristen is so used to my bullshit, and I'm really
It's such good.
So Blade.
It's such good bullshit, though.
It is good. 100% I'm here for it.
The yes list says angst and drama, and Ray
Yeah.
is serving angst and drama.
Oh yeah,
I
I've been
love
looking
it.
at that. I've been like leaning as much as possible into the angst and drama.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think, do we want to end the scene here on that strange note and then move on to the next one, or
I feel like
did
that's
we-
a pretty good. That's a
Yeah.
pretty good
Yeah,
place to end.
I agree.
With. Yeah.
right? And I think like the scene fades a little bit until we're just like stuck in the eyes of the greyhound, and for some reason Twice is still there walking away, even though that happened a long time ago,
Mhm.
right? And then it fades to black.
Yes.
So
Love it.
yeah, I think so from here we can if we want like wrap it up here, or do we want to set up the next scene and jump into it? But I'm fine with wrapping
Let's
things up
do
here,
it.
actually. Mhm.
Well, we started it an hour ago. Or you mean like wrapping up the session or wrapping up the scene? Wait,
Ooh, wrapping up this. I'm just very aware that it's late for you, Jay. So let me
I'm
know.
okay. I'm fine.
I'm like, okay.
I'm having Domino's boneless chicken wings, and I'm eating them all subtle legs. So
Nice.
Nice.
Wow, I had no
Don't
idea.
worry,
I'm
I'm
about
fine.
to.
Yeah.
I didn't know
yeah.
either.
Well done.
That felt like a
I didn't know
strong
that.
move right there.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
See,
Thank
that's
you.
that's a
Eat chicken
skill
wings
set
without
in
people
of itself.
noticing.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a superpower.
Yeah.
God.
I mean, I really want to see a scene in the attic with
Yes.
Twice
Yes.
sulking,
I also
and I
really
want to know
an
who
attic
like
scene.
is going to come up there to
Yeah.
to yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think it doesn't make sense for Emiliano to show up. I think Emiliano is still like
Yeah.
so, but I'm happy
think
to
that I
play
would.
one of the NPCs, right?
Yeah, if you want to give me some supporting action in the attic, because I feel like I'm not gonna. I feel like it's hard to play a character and an environment in the same moment when I want to be like a big bombastic Twice character. But if you want to take on, perhaps the shadows of violence and hate that scratch from inside of closets.
Ooh.
If you want to kind of take on the like the dark things of the attic that are kind of lurking here with me. I think that could be good.
yes. Yeah. And how about everybody else? Do you want to play your characters or right? Because you're still getting used to playing your PC, so it totally makes sense to keep playing your ghosties.
And I think Valentina would go after Twice, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
And Noki would probably also follow, partly to be like, oh, poor Twice. I wonder what's going on, but also like,
I think I want to
cinematic.
be the raven who speaks only to Twice.
Yes. Do we want to start
Oh.
the scene in conversation and then have them arrive?
That sounds great.
That's perfect. That is so perfect.
Yeah. So we already described those like big old like raven turns to crows, turns to something else like
Yeah.
birds,
And
things
I imagine that the attic has like a big Oculus window that is broken.
Yeah.
And that's how you're kind of able to like. There's moonlight streaming in, and that's like what you've flown in through.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting on top of like some big suitcase, and I'm just like sitting on top of it, very angry and bitter, and like still having like blood swirling around me in halos, and like this kind of like flickering negative energy that's kind of like rippling the ground around me.
It seems like you're moving pretty slow for believing.
Well, I'm gonna need some time to pack up all my stuff, and I'm gonna have to figure out where I'm going because I don't want to just go wandering around on grave dirt, and the next thing I know, I end up getting stuck, and I turn into one of those hitchhiker ghosts you see in movies. I don't want to get stuck in a repetition. I don't want to get stuck in a cycle. I want to be.
Yeah, those are the worst.
I want to be myself. Those are yes.
Yeah, no, they're the worst. You're right. Can't do that. That'd be horrible.
I don't like it when you talk about ghosts like this, Poe. Okay, it stresses me out when you remind me that I'm not the first one you've talked to.
Well, but you're the only one I like to talk to. The other ones I don't like, I peck out their eyes. Is that okay? Sorry. Checking with everybody. Are we all right? I'm not going to describe it. Okay. Well, sorry. As I say. Yeah. No. I don't like... Nope. No, you don't like us either. I can tell.
Well, I mean, you're an omen of death. And, like, what am I if not the opposite of death, right? Like, I basically...
You and I just get such a bad rap. Not an omen of death. I mean, maybe I am, but like I didn't do anything to deserve that. You didn't do anything to deserve the way they treat you. You're better than them.
Yeah, you're right. And it won't be that hard to move. I know that there's a graveyard not that far from here. I can go there. I'm sure there's some other ghosts at the graveyard. Maybe some other ghosts my
Stupid
age. Maybe
ghosts.
someone who knows something about whatever happened to me. I don't know. I can probably like. It's just everyone's so. Everyone they don't understand.
That's because they're dumb.
Like-
That's because they're selfish and small-minded, and they just.
Twice has started pacing back and forth in the attic.
I'm like mimicking you with like little like claws on like I'm not going as far as you are, but I'm like going a little bit, and then you trying to go a little bit behind, and I'm. Just
I think
sort of,
Twice stops for a moment and it's like, "Are you making fun of me right now?"
I'm thinking. This is how I think. Great people pace when they think. I go back to pacing.
You wouldn't.
I love the visual of a
You're
raven
not
or whatever
manipulating
waiting
me.
around.
You're not manipulating me, right? You're helping me because you're my friend.
I look like appalled. What? Like feathers go flying. I like
Sorry, I'm sorry.
you because you're the only You're the only non-person. If you don't want me to say ghost,
Ghost is better than that. Good lord, call me
like non-living.
I'm a ghost. I just don't like when you talk about.
Yeah, but you're properly
Most-
murdery. Like
Yeah.
you should be. Like ghosts should be murdery, and you are murdery. That makes you best.
You psychopomps are so weird. I think.
I start like picking at something underneath my wing with my beak.
I'd like Valentina to show up, but I also never want to stop watching this scene.
Basically.
Well,
yeah,
you can have Valentina show up because this crow will not acknowledge Valentina. Like I will just talk. Like Kristen, please don't let me do this to Sean. But like the crow will absolutely talk right over Valentina. Like she's
Perfect.
not there at all.
Perfect.
I've only talked to Twice.
In
Everyone
fact, I
else.
think
Love
the
it.
shadows of violence and hate, right, start like clawing at the closet and the walls, and all the chests start moving to say like "people are coming" is what it means in the subtitles.
Twice whirls around and is like, "Fuck, fuck, fuck." I can't deal with seeing them right now.
They don't respect you. It's your place. They don't belong here.
Mind yourself. They don't know I can talk to you. I'm gonna have to. They don't even know you're here. Pretend you're a normal bird or something.
Sure.
I'm gonna brood so when they show up, I look appropriately dramatic. And I think,
Oof.
as the little as no footsteps because you're all kind of like small and weightless. But I think as the sound of like rustling papers and as like the whispers of the darkness come, Twice scrambles and grabs an old chair and like dusts it off with some poltergeist stuff and sits down in it so it faces the window and like looks away very dramatically. Again, reminder: bright red footy pajama outfit. Please don't forget that throughout all of this.
The crow like perches on the back of the seat right behind you, so not on your shoulder, but like on the wood of the seat, and like with one claw like pulls one of your hair, like a little lock of hair, so it drops down in front of your face. So no, but you have really short hair, don't you?
No, I have my blue wig.
Yeah. Okay.
It's stuck in my head.
Pulls unlike like in a way that Willow could never do. Like with one claw, pulls like a little bit of like blue fronds that like comes down in front of your face, looking extra emo.
Thank you, Paddle. This is why you're my friend.
Gorgeous.
I think when you arrive, yes, go for it.
Before we actually go up, on my way up, I would like to. I know that Twice melted the bonnet into a puddle of blood, but I would like to use my ghostly ability, listen to the truth of an object or room, and use my strong move. Now here's what I want to do with it. It says become physical and real for now. Could I use that move to sort of like reconstruct or bring back the bonnet so I can take it back to
What a good idea.
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that totally works. Yeah, I love that.
I'll pick it up, and again with the floaty bonnet, make my way up to Twice's attic. But that's 0 tokens for me now. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Valentina, how often do you go up to the attic? Like, how often have you come up here?
I think quite a few times.
Mm-hmm.
If that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think quite, because what I was gonna do is I was gonna say that when Valentina pushes open the door and standing in the doorway and sees Twice sitting in the chair, your back's to the door, right? Her back's to the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just see the blue wig spikes sticking up.
Yeah.
And the crow. Mm-hmm.
And Anoki, did we come together? Did we walk up together? Yeah.
Anoki probably trails back a bit because
Okay.
she's too ashamed of her ability, like whatever she's gonna do to bring the bonnet back.
Sure.
She doesn't want you to see, so she'll trail back a bit. But
Okay.
if you wait to catch up, maybe we go together. But otherwise, she will do it. Yeah.
No, that's fine. Especially if you're like you want to stay back, then I'll say that.
Yeah.
That's completely fine. So Valentina pushes the door open and says, oh, "Your pouting chair, again, Twice."
I have good reason to pout. Okay. I swivel It's like a cheap office chair.
Yeah.
I swivel.
When you swivel, the light from through the brightly covered glass like paints your face, and so we see your face looks all fractured by the different colors of light. So there's like a green, blue, and like purple from the stained glass. And
I'm loving Poe and the shadows in the walls as my tech crew, like helping like make sure that I'm appropriately cinematic at all times.
Yes,
You
exactly.
understand that I have an obsession with the melodrama, and so I like the chair spins around. I'm like, I've been waiting for you.
You have?
Well, I mean, like I figured you were gonna come up. I have been expecting you.
Yeah. Oh. You're trying out the dramatic lines.
Helen, pause for a moment as if I understood what the Raven just said, and I'm like, Valentina, I don't know how else to talk to you about this with you.
I don't want you to move. Why are you going to move?
Because the house sucks, and I'm not going to learn anything more here, and I'm scared I'm getting stuck here. I'm scared I'm ending up like that witch is stupid, and Emilio. I think you see that Twice realized that she was getting a little too personal for a second, and immediately kind of falls back on blustering. And it's like that weird kid in the library and the ghost. There's just this house is for me anymore. I'm a poltergeist. I need to go where I can break things and where I can scare people, because it's the only way I'm going to get in the actual. I don't know how else to make it get what I need.
Yeah, and exactly when you say scare
like
people, the
accentuate.
closet goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then
That's probably when I stumble into, because it announces maybe another person's arrival.
Oh yeah. Maybe.
Oh, nice. Yeah. But we could go together. How come you said you'd go alone?
Because it's not safe. I think Twice freezes up because she doesn't want to say it, and then she does, and she's like, Valentina, your spirit's fragile. There's a reason you're attached to that doll, right? Your spirit is fragile. I don't know if you could handle being on deathless ground for that long. I'd be worried about. Well, you wouldn't know what you're doing. You wouldn't. You're not experienced enough. You have no clue what you'd be doing. Again, the facade comes back down.
Yeah. I think that when you say that I'm fragile, when you say that Valentina is fragile, I think that you see like tears well up in her eyes, and then she just I'm gonna say I'm gonna use a vulnerable move to lose control of your body, but she isn't gonna cry sobbing like she was downstairs. Like it's almost like she blinks the tears back into her body, and then she just lays down, and it's like she went further inside of herself, and then just went limp, like sat down like a
I'm
dog.
gonna classify this as my vulnerable move: break someone or something important to you.
We love a good
works
power
both ways.
combo in belonging outside belonging. The more painful combo, the better.
I didn't want to do that to you. I think Twice realizes that she went too far, and that I think it's suddenly like, I think Anoki, you're the main person who sees it for what it is, right? Because Poe is egging her on, right? The shadows are egging her on. Like Twice is just like, you can like tell Twice is like right at the edge of her villain arc.
Right.
And she just like looks down at Valentina, and she realizes that she's done something. She hurt her friend a lot more than she meant to. Maybe she's been hurting her friend a lot more than she meant to. I don't know. I'm trying to figure. I don't know if she has the emotional intelligence to be good about this on her own. Her strong moves do not help. Yes.
If I come in at this very moment and I see this, the last few seconds of what just happened, I place the bonnet down on the table, or I hang it up somewhere, and I'm gonna just, again, from a distance this time, whisper a kind truth to Twice and say, if you care for her, perhaps you should apologize.
I think Twice stands up, and her eyes take on a particular quality that there's only one other ghost in the house with eyes like this, deep down in the basement where no one likes to go. And the eyes of a ghost that is not in control. And Twice looks at Anoki and has this like hate spilling out of her in waves. And I think that she is going to say, I should apologize after everything I've been through, after all the hurt I've suffered, after all the pain I've felt. I have been through so much, and you want me to apologize to her? How dare you? No one has ever apologized to me. No one. And I've had to suffer all of it. And now that I've accidentally broken this doll, and Twice does not make a healthy emotional choice, and instead uses a ghostly ability with great consequence. Is that actually no? Uses a ghostly ability with righteous anger, although I do not think it is correctly placed or reasonable righteous anger. I think instead it is.
Yeah.
Twice feels she is very righteous. However, she is definitely morally wrong. And I'm going to become what someone fears and use it maliciously. So, Anoki, please describe for me your greatest fear.
Wow.
My greatest fear? Okay. There are shadows in the rooms, right? And is there any light, any source of light here?
Coming through the window, there's some light.
Yeah.
And it's different colored light because it's stained glass.
Right. It's dark. There's no light from my presence to refract off of. You take up enough space, you take up so much of, I snuff out. That's my worst fear. You cannot perceive me anymore. I cease to exist even as a ghost. That is my greatest fear. How do you want to like play that visually?
I think Twice's eyes are um Twice's eyes fill with shadow, as if like they're just these two gaping holes. And I don't know, there's a few artists who paint black canvases, and I always think about how when you spend time with them in person, they're not one black, but they're many blacks, right? Like you can see all the different shades of black, like the purpley blacks and the greenish blacks, and the way all these different dark colors form as Twice's body falls away into this misery, this like self-absorbed misery pit that just as her ribs open up and she just expands as this hole in the attic that is so big and so demanding, like basically that like it feels like you are falling into her, right? And you can see within the darkness this like the labyrinth that is like just she just like opens up like this like as if someone has ripped a girl-shaped hole in the world and filled it with malice, and it is just this like unending chasm, and it is howling, and the glass shatters, and all the little cabinet doors in the attic swing open, and all the malevolent spirits that she's been bottling up here, all the half ghosts, all the knives, all the death, all the hate comes pouring out, and you are like a rag in a hurricane, right? You are swallowed in it, and Valentina, you are just underneath it uh as Twice falls into hate. Poe, the Raven, is this what you wanted to happen?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, while you were like getting madder and madder, Poe was like spreading his wings further and further, getting bigger and bigger, and like covering up the little bit of light that was coming through the window with his wings. He was like arching. That's when I was doing like this. This was me trying to be big as a bird. So yeah, I am all for. Yeah, so I think I squawk and fly into the air, and feathers are going everywhere, and Poe is certainly adding to the maelstrom.
Ooh, could I
Love
also
it.
offer something? Because one of the unsolvable problems of the attic is a collection of partial souls, right? Which you mentioned just now.
Yes.
Yeah, could I say like one of those, like from the floorboard, something starts to open up, and we see like a partial hand start to come up and become more and more formed as like a swirling maelstrom, and there's this voice that like comes in and out, like really, it's almost like it slips in and out of reality, and the voice just says, "Enoki, how could you forget about me? You promised that you wouldn't forget about me, and you did. You did forget."
I think that as that voice is whispered, other voices begin coming out. So I just gotta
Yeah. Go
as
for
Judd
it.
put it, as Judd put it in chat. I see you're creepy and raise you one more. I think that ghost begins coming out, and the other ghosts beneath the attic, like more, begin to kind of pull their way out and grasp onto you, like pulling at your fragments of light like ribbons. Some of them saying, I think, similar things, or like, Enoki, please, I've heard so much about you. I've been told such stories. Why won't you help me? And some of them speaking in languages you don't recognize, or languages that are long dead. As they, yeah, go for it.
All right. As all of this is happening, mind you, this is her first time out of her.
Oh no!
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Room.
It's there. I was gonna say
Yeah.
you get a token for dealing with the problem of the attic, so there.
Ooh,
You should at least take the token.
I'll take the token. Thank
A
you.
token for your troubles.
I appreciate it.
Sorry, Inoki, we're being so awful.
It's great. This is fine. This is fine as like there's a literal maelstrom around me. And you see, the the light just is slowly dimming out, and I would like to use my ghostly abilities to take on the form of any being you see. But what I see right now is my deepest fear, which is nothingness. So any remnants of me just slowly ebb out, and there's nothing left. There's no sign of me left. All that there is the bonnet that I brought back for you.
I think, that the darkness is a storm, and I think that everyone else who's not in the attic, you see the top of the house, like you see the like a blot, like an ink blot against the moonlit sky as it just as it pours out and pours like shadow leaking through the ceiling like black mold, right? Like it just like the whole house trembles. And suddenly it's gone, and there's a girl holding a doll with a bonnet on the ground and a very, very large bird watching her as she sobs and wails and then just curls up on the ground. And yeah, I think that's the end of that scene.
I think so too.
Yikes.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Kristen, do you I wonder where Valentino, I don't want to prolong the scene necessarily, but I wonder if you have where you feel like Valentina would have, would you have left in that? Would you have stayed through it? Where do you think?
I mean, I guess we could end the scene. We could zoom in on one of Valentina's eyes, and she has a few sewn to her face.
Yeah.
And I think that if we go into her eye, then we can kind of see where she is. Like there's, like the camera would zoom through a lot of darkness first before there's like a little bit of light. And she's sitting at the tea party downstairs, except nothing is broken and everybody is happy and the sun is shining. And we're all having tea together and sandwiches.
Oh.
So that's where Valentina is.
Sad.
Oh.
I think that's technically you using an attic move, like looking through the window and describe what you see. Like you look through
That
the
is
window.
true. Yeah, you for sure get a token.
I apologize for power gaming so much. This is just
no, please.
Oh, yeah.
Look, BOB is a great power gaming game. It's like token min-maxing. Really, it lends itself to the medium.
Speaking of token min-maxing, I forgot to mention this earlier, but when I used my ghostly abilities, I used it to great consequence.
Oh no, we could tell.
Yeah, we yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm taking my token.
Oh, we knew.
Yeah.
I got big consequence vibe when I sundered you to ribbons through shadows. Yeah, I felt it.
Yeah.
I felt it. I definitely. It's a good thing you're named after a shard of a mirror.
so cool, actually.
But
yeah. Okay, so I'm very conscious of the time. So I'm feeling like we can end here, that we can start the next session with the memory mechanic before we go into the rest of the...
That sounds great.
I assume we're going to go into the lost room to look for Inoki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Welcome to my heart.
But yeah, shall we do outros?
Welcome to my haunt.
Yeah. Our haunt in the middle. Let's go in reverse order. Ray, why don't you start us off? We'll go around.
Yeah, totally. So, hi, I'm Ray. My pronouns are he, they. Thank you so much, everybody, for playing with me. I had so much fun making this game, but I really want to thank Jay for publishing our haunt and giving me a chance to work on this final edition of the game, for believing in this game. It was super, super awesome. So yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Temporal Hiccup. You can also find me on itch.io at Temporal Hiccup. And because I'm not super good at branding, you can find me on Patreon at Sword Queen Games. But I'm in the middle. One of these days, I'm just going to change things. I know you can do it on itch.io. Jay has been explaining this to me, but I'm such a himbo. I will do it today. That's what I'm going to do today. But how about you, Jay?
Hi, my name is Jay Dragon. I'm the editorial director of Possum Creek Games, which thrillingly published this game. You can check it out along with a bunch of other cool games we've been involved in at possumcreekgames.com. You can find me on Twitter at jdragski. And you can support the Possum Creek Patreon, where we post snippets of up-and-coming games, and including potentially someday maybe more stuff by Ray, hopefully, at patreon.com/possumcreek.
Very cool. How about you, Kristen?
Yeah, this was so fun. I had a great time. Like I said, my first time playing, so I can't wait till next session. Yes, hi, I'm Kristen. You can find me on Twitter at KristenSnowJedi or at diceupgames.com, where I design games with my partner. Right now, we actually have a Kickstarter out called Color My Quest, because when I'm not playing super spooky haunted games, I sometimes make games for kids. So it is a fun cut and color RPG for all ages. It's funded, so the game is going to be made, but you can still back it and support it or tell your friends about it. So yeah, I think that's it for me. How about you, Andrani?
Hi, I'm Indrani. I'm awful at intros and outros. My pronouns are she, they. You can find me on the internet as at Nonagon Dice. I'm a handmade dice maker, and I also stream TTRPGs. I'm the co-founder of Daisies and Dragons. We're India's largest TTRPG community. If you're interested in playing diverse games, by which I mean not just D&D, but like amazing other games. Jay has been on our server for a little bit. Jay knows how much we love Wander Home there. But we have a bunch of different games that go on the server. So if you'd like to join, it's staceysandragons.com/discord. I'll drop a link in chat. But yeah, thank you for having me. Sean, do you think?
Do my thing. Well, thank you,
Nice.
everybody, so much for being here. This was so much fun. I delighted in playing both a cat and a crow. I'm obviously in a very anthropomorphic mood this evening.
I know the feeling.
So, yeah, it was very delightful. And yeah, this is lots of fun. I forgot to say this in the intro, but as a reminder, all funds that we collect on the channel are split between Black Lives Matter and the Trans Legal Defense and Education Fund. So if you click the like or if you click the subscribe or the cheer or the whatever give us money button, that's where it'll go. So you should do that because that's a good thing. And we just, every time we get a payment, we just split it between those two. So yeah, that's a great thing. I'm very excited to play this again soon. And thanks everybody for hanging out with us. Now I'm going to do the thing where I pull up the thing, but you consider us talking like it's all very slick and sly. So take care all.
Bye.
Bye.
Everyone, good night.
Good night.
Stay.
All right. And now we're off.